Good morning, all of you. So today,
Good morning.
yes, good morning. In continuation with the same history chapter, Nazism and the rise of Hitler. Today we'll have a look at the Nazi worldview. That what was the ideology of the Nazis? Okay. Now the crimes that the Nazis committed, and if you remember, we started the chapter with that only, the crimes that the Nazis have committed during the Second World War. Now, the crimes that they committed, they were all linked to a system of belief and a set of practices that were done by the Nazis. Now, Nazi ideology, it was synonymous, means same as Hitler's worldview. So Hitler has his own view about the world, and according to Hitler's worldview or Nazi ideology, there was no equality among people. Like, we say that everyone is equal, all people throughout the world, they are equal, irrespective of any difference that they might have. But he was of a different view, and he said that there was no equality between people, but there was only a hierarchy that was based on race. So there was only a racial hierarchy, so a hierarchy that was based on the race to which the people belonged. And according to Hitler, in his view, the blue eyed blonde uh, Nordic German Aryans, they were at the top of this ladder, while the Jews were located at the bottom or the lowest rung. And so the Jews, that is why they were regarded as the anti-race, the arch enemies, because the Aryans, they were at the top and the Jews were at the lowest. So they were the enemies of, they were regarded as the enemies of the Aryans. And in between, all the other colored people were placed in between depending on their physical features, external features. So like the more beautiful, if you are more beautiful outwardly, so those were placed higher on the rung, whereas those who were not so physically attractive externally, so they were placed on the lower rungs. So the blonde, blue-eyed German, Nordic German Aryans, they were at the top, Jews at the bottom, and in between the people according to their external features they were placed. Okay, now Hitler, he borrowed his racism from thinkers like Charles Darwin and Herbert Spencer. Now Darwin, he was a natural scientist, and so he tried to explain the creation of plants and animals through his concept of evolution and natural selection. Now, what that meant is that uh, if any animal species or a plant species, they have more probability, the ones that have more probability of survival, now they will have more opportunities for reproduction also. Now those that will survive more, obviously they will have more opportunities to reproduce, and the ones that will not survive, obviously they will die off. And according to this idea, now only those species, they survived on the earth, those that were able to adapt themselves to the changing conditions, whereas the others, they died. And we know that is true because there had been so many animal and plant species that were once there, but now they are not, because they cannot adapt themselves to the changing conditions. Now but while talking about this, we should keep in mind that while Darwin was talking about all this, now he was not talking about human intervention in all this. Now he was talking about it happening naturally on its own. All right. And so he did not say that humans should intervene in it, and he, according to him, it was purely a natural process of selection, means the ones who will be able to adapt themselves, they will survive, and the rest, they will die. But however, this idea, his idea, means Darwin's idea of evolution and the survival of the fittest, now that was used by racist thinkers and politicians to justify their control over the conquered countries, conquered people. And the Nazis, they put forward a simple argument that the strongest race, it would survive, and the weak ones would perish, they would die. And according to the Nazis, the Aryan race, it was the finest, it was the strongest, so it had to retain its purity, and so that it can become stronger and it can dominate the world. Okay, so Nazis thought Aryan race, it was the finest, and so it will survive, and to survive it had to retain its purity and not be mingled with other races which are on the down ladders, and that way only it can become stronger and it could dominate the world. And now the natural scientists like Charles Darwin and Herbert Spencer, now according to them, nature selects that who are strong ones and who are the weak ones, and so the strong ones, according to those who are able to adapt themselves, who are stronger, who are able to adapt themselves, they live, they survive, they become strong, whereas the weak ones, they die out. But the Nazis, they used it to satisfy their own thinking, and to means prove that yes, Aryan race, now that is the finest and that will only survive, and the rest they have to die. Now that was one principle. The other aspect, one principle or one aspect of Hitler's ideology, that was his worldview, according to which there was no equality among people, there was only a racial hierarchy and all this. Then there was another aspect of Hitler's ideology, and that was related to his geopolitical concept of Lebensraum. Now Lebensraum means living space. Now according to Hitler, he believed that new territories, new places have to be acquired for settlement of the German people. Now what he believed, that if new territories, new countries were conquered, then that will increase or extend the area of the mother country also, and this way it will also help the settlers, the people who the Germans who he will bring from the rest of Europe. It would help them to retain links with their mother country also, because now the mother country will have control over the extended territory. Otherwise so many Germans, all the Germans, they don't live only in Germany, they live elsewhere, they used to live elsewhere in the world also, many lived in many other countries of Europe. But what he wanted all Germans to come and live together in one place. Now that would not be possible, so he wanted more land for them, and so he wanted new territories to acquire, and so that he can bring these Germans from the rest of Europe and settle them in those places, and so in a way they can retain link with their mother country also. And then it would also, if you have control over more territory, then it will increase your material resources also, and also it will increase the power of the mother nation. So that was his concept of Lebensraum, or living space. And so Hitler, he wanted to extend German boundary by moving eastward, that is towards Russia, and he wanted to bring all the Germans geographically in one place. If he wanted all of them to come to live in one place, and Poland, it became the lab or laboratory for all his experimentation. Okay, now once the Nazis, they got power, they began to implement their dream, and this dream was to create an exclusive community where they had only pure Germans living there, and this they did by physically eliminating all those whom they saw as undesirables. As we just saw, that according to Charles Darwin and Herbert Spencer, the strongest, they will live on their own, and the nature selects who are the strongest and they live, whereas the weak ones, they die off. And but Hitler and the Nazis, what they did, they, according to them, the Aryans, they were the strongest, so they thought that they had to live, they had to retain their purity, and they had to become stronger. And so they went out physically eliminating, they means they went out physically killing all those whom they thought were undesirables, and with whom they did not wanted the Germans to mix. And so all those who were seen as undesirables, now in their empire, they wanted to physically eliminate them. And so Nazis, they wanted a society of only pure and healthy Nordic Aryans. And because according to the Nazis, only they were desirables, and only they were desirable enough to prosper and to reproduce, to multiply against all others whom the Nazis thought as undesirables. Now, what that meant was that not only the Jews and the Gypsies and the Poles and the Russians whom they thought as undesirables, it not only meant that they would be killed, they would be eliminated, but even those Germans who were seen as impure or abnormal, according to the Nazis, they also had no right to exist or no right to live. And so, they even went about killing the Germans also. And so, under the euthanasia program, we come back to Helmut. If you remember Helmut's father, he was a doctor. So under the euthanasia program, Helmut's father, along with the other Nazi officials, they had condemned many to death. Means they had eliminated, or they have executed, or they have killed many under the euthanasia program. It is a silent death. Euthanasia is silent death, and you simply give an injection and the person, he would no longer be living. And so that is what he did, and that is why Helmut's father, he was so afraid that what they did to the Jews and the crippled, now the Allies will do to us, and that is why he committed suicide. Okay. And so Nazis officials, they condemned to death many Germans who were considered mentally or physically unfit. So not only all those people belonging to other races whom the Nazis thought as undesirable, they were killed, but even Germans who were physically or mentally unfit, they were also killed by the Nazis. So Jews were not the only community to be classified as undesirable, though they were on the lowest rung. Obviously, they were the most, and you could say the enemy, number one. But then there were others also, and there were others like many gypsies and blacks, those who were living in Nazi Germany. They were also considered to be racially inferior, and according to the Nazis, they threatened the biological purity of the Aryan race. What that meant was that if the Nazis, they will intermingle with the people belonging to other races, if they marry the people belonging to the other races which were considered as low or undesirable, then they will lose their purity, and he didn't want it that. And so all these people who were considered as undesirable by the Nazis, now they were widely persecuted. And so even according to the Nazis, the Russians and the Poles, they were also considered as subhumans, means they were below humans, and so they did not deserve any humanity, means they were not even humans, they were subhumans, below humans. So why they should get any humanity? And when Germany, they occupied Poland and even parts of Russia, so civilians who were captured, they were forced to work as slave laborers, and many of them died because they were given so much hard work to do and not proper food. So many people died of hard work and starvation. But the Jews, they were the worst sufferers in Nazi Germany, and the Nazis, they hated Jews because they had a this is said to be a traditional hostility of the Christians towards the Jews. Now Hitler, he was a Christian, and so he had this hatred towards the Jews because many people consider that it was the Jews who had put Jesus Christ to death. And so and they were also considered to be usurers. Now what that meant is that those people who charge very high interest at lending money, and so this term is also used as an abused for the Jews. And so that is why the Nazis, they hated the Jews, because the Jews were considered to be those who has killed Jesus Christ. And so till medieval times, the Jews, they could not own the land also, and they survived only through lending money and through trade. They were not allowed to own property or land, and they lived in separately marked separate areas which were marked for them, which were called as the ghettos. And the Jews, they were also persecuted periodically, means after every certain period of time there was an organized violence, means these violence, it was organized by the Nazis, and the Jews, they were persecuted through that organized violence, and the Jews, they were expelled, removed from the land. But he hated them, and not only because they were the ones who have killed Jesus Christ, but his hatred of the Jews, it was based on the pseudo-scientific theories of race. And according to this, Hitler thought that even if the Jews convert, that is no solution to their problem. And so according to Hitler, conversion was no solution to the Jewish problem, and this problem can only be solved through their total elimination. So according to Hitler, even if the Jews, they converted, and even if they converted to Christianity, that was not the solution. The only solution to the Jewish problem was that they should be totally killed and totally eliminated from the face of the earth. And so from 1933 to 1938, the Nazis, they terrorized the Jews, pauperized them, means they made them poor, took away of their wealth, did not allow them to conduct any trading activities. Segregated means they were separate things for the Jews and for the Germans. So the Jews could not use the things which were there for the people belonging to the upper races, and they also forced them to leave the country. And the next phase, which was from 1939 till 1945, means the time of the Second World War. Now that time, it was aimed at concentrating, means bringing about all the Jews in certain areas, and then killing them in gas chambers, which were in Poland. So from 1933 to 1938, they terrorized the Jews, made them poor, pauperized them, and segregated them, forced them to flee the country. And then in the second stage, all of them were brought together to the concentration camps, and later on they were sent to the gas chambers to be killed. Now, under the shadow of the Second World War, on one side there was a World War, and on the other side, Nazis, they started to realize their murderous racial ideal. Genocide. Genocide is racial killing or racial massacre. So genocide and war, it became the two sides of the same coin. So in Germany, on one side the Second World War was going on, and on the other side there was this killing of the Jews that was taking place in Germany. And so the part of Poland that was occupied by the Germany, now that occupied Poland, it was divided up, and much of the northwestern part of Poland, it was annexed to Germany. And so the Polish people, they were forced to leave their homes and their properties behind, and these homes and properties were now to be occupied by the ethnic Germans, the Germans who had been brought from the other parts of Europe. Now these houses, these properties were given to the Germans, and the Polish people, they were forced to leave their houses and properties behind. And the Germany had one part of Poland. That part which they had, it was also divided. One part, all the Polish people, they were forced to move to the second part, and in the second part, Poles, means the Polish people, they were herded like cattle, because half of it, they let it remain for the ethnic Germans to come and stay there. And so in the other part, the Poles were herded like cattle, and this part was called as the general government, and that was the destination of all the undesirables of the German Empire. So all the people whom the Nazis thought were undesirables, they were herded, they were brought to this general government, the part of Poland, all right, that was divided up, and that was called the general government. So all the undesirables were brought here. Members of the Polish intelligentsia, means people, the Polish people who were like leaders and intellectuals and spiritual leaders, they were all killed, so that the Polish people will remain slaves of Germany. And the Polish children also, even those children who look like Aryans, so some of the Polish children, they also look like Aryans, they were snatched away from their mothers, and then they were examined by experts, race experts, and if they passed the race test, then they were given to Aryan German families to rear, and if not, then these children, those who were taken up, snatched from their parents, now they were deposited, they were sent to the orphanages, and here most of the children, they died. And some of the largest ghettos, means places where the Jews were forced to live, some of the largest ghettos and the gas chambers were in this general government or the part of Poland. And so the general government, it served as the killing fields for the Jews. See, one of the freight cars, means goods car, which was used to bring the Jews to the death chambers. Now let's have a look at the steps to death. First stage was the exclusion, means to exclude the Jews from the Germans. That was from 1933 to 1939. And the first is, you have no right to live among us. The Nuremberg laws of citizenship of September 1935, let's see what they say. Only people of German or German related blood, they would be called as Germans, German citizens, and only they will enjoy the protection of the German Empire. Marriages between Jews and Germans, now they were forbidden. Extramarital relations between Jews and Germans, they became a crime or a criminal offense. Jews were even forbidden to fly the national flag, because now they were not considered as Germans. Those who had been living in Germany all their life, even they were not now allowed to use the national flag. And some other laws or legal measures, it included that boycott of Jewish businesses. So there was complete boycott of Jewish businesses. They were removed from government services. So all the Jews who were involved, already employed in government services, they were removed from their government services. And there was forcefully their lands and their properties were sold, their money taken up by the German Empire, and their properties were confiscated. And besides all this, the properties of the Jewish people, they were vandalized, means they were deliberately, they were destroyed, they were damaged, and they were looted, their houses were attacked, and the synagogues, means the places where the Jewish, they went, they used to pray, so they also were burnt, and the people were arrested in pogrom. Now pogrom is a riot, a violent riot, which was aimed at the which was usually done to kill people or to remove them, expel them from the land, and basically this is aimed at specific religious and ethnic groups, and it was specially done for the Jews. And so many of the Jews, they were also arrested, they were killed also in large numbers, and they were expelled from the country also. And this night is called as the night of the broken glass. Then the second step was ghettoization, and that means is that the Jews had no right to live among us. And so from September 1941, all Jews, they had to wear a yellow star of David, and this identity mark was stamped on all their legal documents and on their houses also. And the Jews, now they could not live in their own houses, the houses which they owned. Now they were kept in Jewish houses in Germany, or in ghettos, which were special areas marked for the Jews only, and in ghettos like in Lodz and Warsaw. And these ghettos or the Jewish houses, they became sites of extreme poverty and misery, because the Jews, before they had to enter into the ghetto, they had to surrender, or they were so forcefully they had to surrender all their wealth, all their property was taken away, so they had to give up all their wealth, and then only they were allowed to enter the ghetto, otherwise they were killed. And soon, because the people, they had no money now, and the Germans, they thought them to be the enemies, they were not concerned about them, and so these ghettos were soon filled with hunger, starvation and diseases, because the people, they were deprived, they were not given any food, and there was no proper hygiene. So many of the people, they died because of this. The third stage was the annihilation. That was 1941 onwards. Means first was, you have no right to live among us as citizens. Second, you have no right to live among us. means earlier it was as citizens, later on it was that you cannot live among us, and third was you have no right to live, means now your only solution is death. And so see these figures here, figure 18, killed while trying to escape. And the, you know, these concentration camps, they were enclosed with live wires. The Jews were kept here, and you know, they cannot, even if they wanted, they could not escape because it was all covered with live wires. So anyone who tried to escape, you know, they were dead also. Then see the piles of clothes outside the gas chambers. These are the piles of clothes, means before they were stuffed into these gas chambers. Their clothes were taken off. See the shoes taken away from prisoners before the final solution. And see a concentration camp, how it is looking. And then it had all barbed wires around it. And so you know, people cannot even go out of these wires, of these concentration camps. And Jews from the Jewish houses and concentration camps and ghettos from different parts of Europe, they were brought to these death factories. Death factories means the gas chambers by the goods train. And in Poland, they were most of the biggest gas chambers, and in elsewhere in the east also, most notably Belzec, Auschwitz, Sobibor, Treblinka, Kelmno and Majdanek. You know, there were gas chambers, and here the Jews, they were charred in gas chambers, they were gassed to death, and mass killing took place within minutes with scientific precision, means they knew that how much gas, this killing gas, they had to release so that so many people could be killed in a matter of minutes. So that was what the Jews, they suffered in Nazi Germany. Now, youth in Nazi Germany, Hitler, he was fanatically interested, means extremely enthusiastic about the youth of the country. And because he felt that a strong Nazi society, it can only be established by teaching children Nazi values or Nazi ideology. And so for that, you know, this required the Nazi state to have a control over the child both inside and outside school. So when the child can be controlled both outside and inside school, then only he can become, he can be really taught the Nazi values and ideals properly. Now what happened in schools under Nazism, let's see. So first, all the schools were cleansed and purified. Now what that meant was that all the teachers who were Jews, or those peoples who were seen as undesirables, now they were dismissed from the schools. Then first the children were segregated, means the Germans and the Jews, they could not sit together, they could not play together. And later on, all the undesirable children, means the Jews, the children who were physically handicapped, the gypsies, they were all thrown out of the schools. And finally in the 1940s, all these children, they were also taken to the gas chambers to be killed. Now what remained was good German children. Now they had to go through a process of Nazi schooling. That was a long period of ideological training. And so school textbooks, they were rewritten. Racial science was introduced so that they can justify the Nazis' ideas which were based on race. Stereotypes about Jews, now they were also popularized. And even through maths classes, means through everything, stereotype about Jews, they were popularized. Children, they were taught to be loyal and submissive, hate Jews and worship Hitler. And so sports was there, but even the function of the sports was there to nurture and bring about a spirit of violence and aggression among children. And Hitler thought that boxing could make children iron-hearted, strong and masculine. And then youth organizations, you know, after school youth organizations, they were responsible for educating the German youth in the spirit of National Socialism. Now National Socialism basically is the ideology and the practices which were associated with Nazism. So you know, youth organization, they were responsible to teach the youth the principles and the ideals of Nazism. 10-year-olds, they had to enter young folk, and at 14 all the boys, they had to join Nazi youth organization that was called as Hitler Youth. And here they learned to glorify war and worship war, glorify aggression and violence, and condemn democracy, hate the Jews, gypsies, communists, and all those who were considered as undesirables. And so, after a period of all this ideological and physical training, they joined the labor service at the age of 18, and then they had to serve in the armed forces and enter one of the Nazi organizations. Now, the Youth League of Nazis, it was founded in 1922, and 4 years later it was renamed as Hitler Youth. And because the Nazis, they wanted to unify all the youth movement under Nazi control, so all the other organizations, they were dissolved and they were finally banned, and only Hitler Youth, it remained. And see this source C on the next page. All the boys between the ages of 6 and 10, they went through a preliminary training in Nazi ideology, and end of the training they had to take the following oath of loyalty to Hitler. Let's see what this oath that the children had to take. In the presence of this blood banner, means that swastik sign, which represents our Führer, means Hitler, I swear to devote all my energies and my strength to the savior of our country. So Hitler was considered as God, savior, Messiah. I am willing and ready to give up my life for him, so help me God. So that was the oath that the children of 10 years, they had to take. Then let's see source D. This is said by Robert Ley, who was the head of the German Labor Front, and he said that we start with this teaching the child Nazi ideology when the child is 3 years old, and as soon as even he can start to think, he is given a little flag to wave. So means take control of the child as soon as he is able to think. So as soon as the child is able to think, a 3-year-old, he was given a Nazi flag to wave. And then comes the school. So school also, there was all Nazi teaching, and then the Hitler Youth, and then the military service. And even he goes on to say, but even when all this is over, means he has already served in military, then also we don't let go of anyone, and the labor front, they take control of them and keep control of the person till the time they go to the grave, whether they like it or not. So the Nazis, they controlled the people whether they liked it or not. So they had total control of a person from the time he was born, or a child of 3 years, till the time that person went to the grave. The Nazis, they controlled all the activities of the person whether they liked it or not. Okay, have you understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
okay, tell me one thing. um, Still few pages are left. Do you want me to stop here, or do you want me to complete the explanation of the chapter? As you want, I'll
Please
do.
stop it.
Stop here. Okay. So all understood properly?
Yes, ma'am.